Look, I'm not support the feminine style of leadership or the masculine style of leadership. I don't believe in those types, but that's what we have today. It was the world of men, and now it's changing slowly, but it's changing. And the men, to tell you the truth, I don't care about them now, because they had their time. They lead, they control all those generations. Now it's our time, the women's time. So I want to speak about I think that we have to bring now our contribution and our qualities, but it's only an interim space because I think that if we want a really new change, and if we want to solve all the problems, the crises, and the problems that the world is dealing with, so it must be new forms. We must create new forms of leadership, because the humankind consciousness is expanding, and those kinds of leadership, when we use only one type or the other type, it doesn't contribute. It's win-lose situation. Okay, it's not. Maybe when it's win-win. Now we are in a world of win-lose situation. When women will contribute to the world, it will be a win-win situation. But only if we create something new, because each of us has the male types or the male qualities and the female qualities. We have them both. God created us equal in front of Him, and it's the same. Even the last researchers shows that there is no such a difference between the male brain and the female brain. Yes, women more sensitive, and they think they do care about their body and how they look, and men little aggressive, but in all the other qualities, we are the same, almost the same. So we must create new forms of leadership. But we are today, and you know there is always the war between the heart and the mind, and people are motivated by feelings. And we are making decisions from the heart, then we rationalize it. Now, it's very important key, not only in business, everywhere. And women have their natural gift to open the hearts of people and to touch their feelings. And this is very special quality that we are gifted, and it's open everything. You can sell, you can make business, you can do everything with this quality. So that's why we must join women, because all the qualities that I spoke at my first, when I opened the presentation, applies everyone, men and women. But then you say that the world needs our qualities because we have those unique qualities. So we have to give our gift to the world, and it's very, very important. Even the Harvard Business Review found that the world needs those qualities and has recognized the qualities of women. So it said, as rated by their peers and associates, as well as their immediate supervisor and bosses, it was found that more women were rated as better overall leaders than their male counterparts. And the higher the position, the wider the gap between the two genders. So we have the seal. And finally, I think that we know the models, the role models that we know about women leaders are, they don't have to exist today. We know the role of leaders such as Margaret Thatcher, Indira Gandhi, Golda Meir, who tried to role and to lead as male. And there are also the ancient women leaders, such as Cleopatra, Queen of Sheba, and they use their feminine wiles, and they also lead as men. So we don't need those types, those role of types. We need something new. And something new is when we bring us our uniqueness, and we lead. We don't have to copy anyone. Every one of you has to find her way, or his way. So we have to find our way, and find how. Okay, so we have to lead in our way, we have to do it our way, our uniqueness, because the uniqueness is our stamp of legacy. And I want to finish with an African proverb, which says, if you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. Wow. Thank you.
Now I would request Mr. Arvind Kumar Modi for a panel discussion.
Very good morning. Leading effective leader, it is a real leader when
You need the microphone, please.
Sure.
Hello. Yeah, very good morning. Leaders, authentic leaders they are not creating only followers, they are creating leaders. If their followers want to one step go to ahead, then leaders go to the 2 steps. When their followers want to back 1 step, 2 steps, then leaders want to back only 1 step. The great leaders are the for company business leaders connecting the consumers, customers emotionally. So if they are thinking about making the authentic leadership, so they can connect their employees emotionally, so that their work with the emotional intelligence also. The huge empress, the Mahatma Gandhi, his quotation is the message for the world is the my life. So what are he saying? He doing same thing. It is not different. There the way of life is different, and talking is different. So it's makes more credential if they are doing same thing what they are telling.
May I call upon now Ms. Joe Pickwick to carry out the panel ahead.
Hi, good morning everyone, and pleasure to be here to speak to you this morning. Lovely group of women and gentlemen. My name is Jo Pennycook. I operate a design company in New Zealand, Redesign Group. Our head office and our design offices in Christchurch, but we also have 6 other offices around the globe. We primarily are food and beverage and retail designers, working in a lot of mall developments, but also in airport facilities. So if you fly down the international airport, you'll see all of our food and beverage. Now that is 6 years old, so we're going back and refurbish them shortly. But you'll notice that anywhere in India that you'll be, there will be some element of our work in the airport facilities. So we have a trend really of actually building businesses or building teams that can actually carry out the work for our clients. So we have to be present in the market. So we found that, and with our Indian operation, if we did the work back in New Zealand, we wouldn't be cost effective in Southeast Asia or in India. We couldn't charge the same amount that we are doing in New Zealand in this market. So we found that actually building the teams made us be able to represent the company and also actually to do the work, but also be cost effective. So part of this discussion is how authentic leadership can actually build profit within an organisation. The way that we've structured our business is that a lot of the design work is done in New Zealand and then it's shipped across over email into India, where we have our team of documenters. So we have a full team of documenters that do our work for Middle East, Europe, the States and for New Zealand. And in Ho Chi Minh City, we have a team of rendering people. So we have a full team empowered by doing our 3D renders, full-time rendering. It also gives us the ability to actually work around the clock because New Zealand, we're 6.5, 7 hours behind India. Ho Chi Minh City is 5 hours behind. So we're actually able to work around the clock and make the engine of the design office working for us. Part of my ambition really in the company is to be a strong leader. I've been operating for 18 years and we've had still great teams within the organisation. We have young designers that I empower and let them have the ability to actually do the design and actually not be like, this is what you need to do. It's always giving them the ability to actually to do what they think, and then I then give inputs to them and grow and improve and to increase their design ability. So we bring in different groups and capabilities within the organisation, business development people, designers. And I think that the way that we promote the way that we actually manage our teams is we're a team. There's not necessarily a hierarchy. There's a lot of companies that have the head of the company and then each other. We're the same. I see everyone on the same level, and we're a great team, even globally, not just in New Zealand. So, well, I find that the teams are they're good friends as well. So we've got this really friendly atmosphere within our office. And if that happens, then of course your business is going to be profitable. It's going to be you're going to have people that want to come to work, that do great designs and project everything that we do about our company into our projects. So just in general, we don't have to stay in one area. We've found that in New Zealand, 17 hours away, bottom of the world, we can't be travelling all the time. So having these setups have actually helped us progress our business and to really build good teams around the globe.
Namaste, good morning. My name's Lauren Craig and I'm an artist. I'm a cultural researcher and I'm also a therapist. I'm really happy to be able to say that and to be able to enjoy that here in India. It's often difficult, I think, for a woman to be so many things, although so many of us are. I started an organisation called Thinking Flowers in 2003. And Thinking Flowers is an organisation that deals with asking big questions about ethics, sustainability, and engagement on a global scale. Thinking Flowers uses actual real flowers, the flowers that grow in our earth, and uses these flowers to create art installations that are both activism and elements of aesthetic design and beauty. I started thinking flowers because I wanted to make art that could make change and ask questions. And sometimes sending flowers ahead of yourself is a way to get through the door and start working with the big questions that are affecting us. Thinking Flowers is a campaigning company as well as a creative company. And we are campaigning really about women's rights and working rights. The reason why I continue to deliver Thinking Flowers up until now, a good 13 years later, is because I found out the reproductive systems of women were being depleted. Whilst working with the reproductive part of the plant, they were working with dangerous pesticides, not being given maternity leave, and also depleting the water systems and the actual earth itself. This is what kept me in the game and kept me travelling the world to make art installations using flowers and to campaign and to speak. So today we're talking about consciousness in business and profit. Now I think my concept of profit is probably a little bit different in that yes, I do believe the economic returns on investment are needed. Having a financial bottom line that's secure does allow you to jump off of a platform that's safe into diversifying, into new ideas. But I think the trends that I've most noticed around the globe, with specifics to flowers, but actually I think are quite universal, are collaboration, slow movement, and nomadism. So firstly, and quickly, the slow movement. I think people are moving towards wanting to grow the vegetables they eat, wanting to grow the flowers they use, wanting to take time to have something that's made in an ethical way that may cost more but lasts longer. This might be a minority of us moving in this way, but eventually I believe we will no longer be able to sustain a fast, big, moving organisation. I don't think we're going to continue to go into the large corporations that have large offices. I think we're going to be moving into the way, like Joe's moving, of having globalised, small, localised and hyper-localised organisations that work as a network and work as a system. So I actually think the pace of things are changing and we're slowing down, not always to move towards the quick answer, the fast answer, and often the most unhealthy answer for our bodies and for the planet. Collaboration, although something that seems really simple, I think is also a trend that's growing. We've really led an individualistic concept and perception of entrepreneurialism. You know, I am the leader, I am the founder, when actually nothing is done alone. Not even ideas are done alone. Everything in some respects is collaborative. And actually being able to pool resources and use resources is what is driving my organisation forward. If there is somebody out there that can create a garden, then I will work with them to create a garden. And this is how I think things are growing. We're looking at different ways of working together that allows people to work supported with their strengths, and therefore collaborating in teams that allows their weaknesses to be strengthened by other people's strengths. And this is how I believe that things are moving forward. It might be slowly, but it's definitely surely. And again, talking about nomadism, this is something that I'm recognising is happening around the world. People are not ready to be stationary. This could be with ideas, this could be with the internet, but it's also with the taking on of spaces. I've noticed everywhere that people are taking hold of empty, disused space and changing this into something. This was an idea that came to me in 2009, and it led to me incorporating another organisation, which is a foundation called the Field Foundation. And this was because I was creating a composition, a commission, for the House of Commons in London, and this was for the inauguration, for the Obama inauguration celebration fair. So it was the strategy to have two parties. One party that would fly, who needed to be at the inauguration, and other people that would stay, rather than having huge amounts of flights. And so my commission was to design an floral installation to celebrate this. I was doing this in my kitchen, which is luckily very large and backs onto a garden. But this was happening in my kitchen. And it was happening in my kitchen after my neighbours had had a flood. So I was thinking, I really need space. I need a bigger space because this is now, I'm bursting. And this is, I need to move out. And it was a week after this. The commission went fine, by the way. It was delivered on time, as Big Ben was timing. But it led me to believe that I need more space. And a week later, I got an email from a friend saying that he was gathering people in my local town, which is Brixton, southwest London. And he was gathering people to take over an old, disused marketplace. It was in use. And I hate actually when people say that it was in use, but it was underused. And the communities there were thriving in a small way, but there was so much more space. So 19 of us, artists, entrepreneurs, activists, people that just philander, got together and took over this market. We negotiated with the local council and with the market owners themselves. And we took over this market rent-free. The market is now a grade 2 listed market and will remain a market for its entirety. It is now used fully by artists, by people who want to come and eat there, people who want to buy clothes. But I'm seeing that this moving, this nomadism, taking over disused spaces or underused spaces or repurposing the use of space is something that is happening all over the world. I no longer have that space because that space is now being sold at a price that our organisation can't afford and can't be able to generate profit if we remain there. But we are now somewhere else, beautifying another space that is now become our home and now creating another hyper community. I really believe that we need to look at different ways of returns on investment. I believe there are both social, environmental and cultural returns on investment. Economic is important, but it's definitely not everything.
I would like to open up this topic for the audience as a question answer and as a discussion. If anybody.
A question to Debbie. You were talking about leadership and they were talking also about profit. Now, as a leader in the army, where's the profit? How can you assess profit? And of course not in monetary, but do you have measures for profit in a defense setup?
When we are leaving the army and we are going to organizations, especially big organizations, or as entrepreneurs, but not in the private business, less. So because as entrepreneur, you bring your vision. And when you're going to big organizations, you are also bringing your vision and all the things that I spoke about earlier. And when you do this, and you're not focusing only on profit, but you're focusing in a great aim, or you have a great purpose, so you also make profit. In the private business, which are focusing in making money, it doesn't work, and that's why they are not succeeded there. But they can succeed in big organizations which have goal, a high goal, a higher goal, or as an entrepreneur when they're bringing themselves and their vision and their ideals. So I think that it goes together.
Can I take another question?
Yes.
Yeah, in addition, in army, they not profit in terms of money, but they are the profit in terms of assets. Human is also assets. They are safety. They are also considering the safety of their citizens.
I didn't understand you. Sorry, I want to understand you slowly. Thank you.
Profit in army, profit is not in terms of money only, but profit in terms of safety. profit in terms of the of safety of the human assets, human resources. So if they are the enemy country, so they are the preventing they are the land also, land security also. So they are making the profit in terms of the land safety of the citizens.
I'm interested also to, if you can compare a bit the leadership in the army to leadership in corporate world. But you know the answer, so. Again, if you can compare your experience as a leader in the army, where you give commands and things happen, and in the corporate world where commands not necessarily will work.
Yeah, you know, when I retired, I asked myself, what's the difference between in the army we wear a uniform, everyone see the ranks, so, and when we are going to the business world, or outside, it's not the same because we are wearing the same other clothes. You don't make the difference between this one and the other one. You don't know who is the boss and who is the worker. But I realized that even when I was in the army and when I'm looking for the best officers or the best commanders, I was a commander also. So if we have to give orders or to lead people by orders, I know that I thought to myself when I was in the army also, I can put my ranks on the table and go home. Because you cannot lead people, especially not in the army, only by orders. Because you cannot ask them to risk their life for you or for the country by orders. They must believe in you. They must know that they can trust you. And there is a very strong value in the Israeli army of follow me. And people can follow you just when you give an example, self-example, and you lead from the heart. And all the things that I already spoke about them are very, very relevant also in the army. Because in critical times, and we deal with many critical times, you must need those qualities, not others.
I'll answer a little bit about this one. I think I have a philosophy of business that profit comes from good work, and it comes from doing your job well for 18 years, doing a career that you love, and inspiring younger designers and younger people to actually come on board with you. We're not about the bottom line. Yes, we need to operate, but if you do good work, then that profit will come. So my philosophy is, I'm not in business for making billions. Would be nice, but that will come naturally if you put the hard work in and the dedication. So having a good business plan, having good teams behind you will then make that profit come. So I think the corporate world is a lot different to the world of governmental world and that sort of thing, because these smaller companies have a lot more risk, and you put your heart, you put your house, you put everything on the line to make your business go well, and over time that will come.
One more basic compare is in army, person are working for the nation, but in corporate world, person are working for the company. In army, they are the main interest in national interest, and company, corporate field, they are working for the CEO, they are working for their boss, they are working for make the profit of the company.
Hi, good morning. I don't know if it's a question, but I think it's something I would really like to understand. As I see it now, there's two ways of controlling people. One with your heart, one with your, I don't say with your brain, with your will. Okay? Until today, we've seen people by religious. If they've been controlled by rules, which means you don't need to think a lot. Let me think for you. I will arrange everything for you, okay? And I will lead you. And I will have some rules. You will know that you're in the right zone, and you can live on. And now what you are talking about, you are talking to provide to other people, but all of you were talking to provide leadership to other people, to help them live means that something very strange happening. Before there was one ruler, okay? Today, still today, it's always, look at the word, it's one ruler, and and now we want to provide the ruling, the leading to other people. When I'm hearing it, I don't know how can we do it. It never been done before, really. Or I'm ignorant and I don't know, but it never been done. And we are creating something, we want to create something very, can it stick? Can it hold? Because people in the morning, when they're tired, they say, okay, what are my rules? 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not saying, I want to create, to rule today. So it's two different things that we really want to happen, but I'm a bit scared that it cannot hold because of the mind of the human being. What are your suggestions? How can we hold it?
Yes, I understand what you're saying, that you are worried that the authentic leadership is not instilled within individuals to lead themselves, to come together to lead themselves. I think that we have to have faith in the human's capability to do this, because the old structures are no longer sustaining our lives. They are no longer going to sustain our lives with one leader. So it will have to change. And in that, people will have to find in themselves the ability to go forward, to set their rules, to set the rules for their life, and to work within the guidelines of their lives, for them to be achieving and for them to be living and being within their life that then contributes to others. And others will see others doing this. And we together will be able to move forward.
Education.
It's not only education, actually, because education, again, is a set of laws. Education's fantastic. You know, I went to master's level in education, but actually surviving, keeping my head above water, was what I learned from my living in my community, from seeing how things are working on the street, and from looking at nature, actually, and seeing how nature thrives when water is not there, and seeing how nature thrives when light is not there, and seeing how we're able to design strategies that support our living, not only just to survive on small amounts, but to thrive on enough. Enough being the operative word, because I think the problems of us living with one ruler is that greed is also something that leads one ruler to want to continue to stay in power. So actually a release of power and less greed is something that allows us as a community to share our resources together and to go forward.
Why? It's also changing the consciousness of people, changing, and it's expanding. So that's why we see more and more self-businesses or entrepreneurs, small business, because people don't want anymore someone else will control them. So, and I think that this is the new world. And we don't know whether it's. I think that it's going to succeed. I don't think that this is the changing that is happening today.
Yeah, probably that's what's going to
Change
be.
constant things. Change constant things.
The spreading of the mind, what you said, we actually change the way we think.
Yeah.
I think this is the hope.
Yeah,
Because,
and that's why we'll have to build new, more models of leadership, because the old model will not exist.
I think that we cannot build anything. If it's there, it will pop up. I don't think we can build anything, really. It will pop up and it will stay, because if we need to build something, it will cross some way or another. Anyone have any other questions?
Thank you.
Any more questions? Let's sum up the session. And nothing but change is only constant. That is the thing. I would like to end up the session. Thank you all of you. Thank you speakers. Thank you panelists for making this a very fruitful one. And the next session that would be over here. The next session would be the 60 second that is produced with zero fuel, zero water, zero land grabbing, zero ocean grabbing. That is with high quality at 9:30.
Thank you.
Audience, please join us for the photo session.
गुलशन जी वेट करूंगा मैं आपका फ्रेम बना के रखूंगा प्लीज जस्ट वेट 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 गुलशन जी पीछे आओ पीछे आओ पीछे आओ पीछे आओ क्लोजअप कर लेना कहाँ से आया
בנות, יש עוד בנות ישראליות, בואו.
वाइब्रेट टूल हाँ जी दोनों ठीक है मैं कॉल थ्रू कॉल बंद कर दूँ मैं म्यूट कर देता हूँ तो
Searching for the comeback, so maybe you wait for that.
Great. So, he's gone from there. Did that one?
למה לא יפה לי פשוט? כי הוא עמד במקום הזה. זה נורא טוב, בארץ עוד לא קם, אז אני עוד לא התחילו לעבוד.